Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley, and welcome to this edition of TFG Overtime, which is a companion piece to the TFG March edition. And on this particular overtime segment, we're going to be looking at Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti, who means so much to the DNA of the fight game. In a moment, I'll be talking to both of our TFG experts, Max Kellerman and Bernard Hopkins, about their memories of Arturo. But first, let's put up this month's Gatti List, which is a look at the 5 most dramatic Arturo Gatti fights of all time. Here are 4 of them. Of course, most fight fans remember Gatti versus Ward 1. Most fight fans will recall that the 2 fights with Ivan Robinson were both chosen as the fight of the year. The fight against Gabriel Ruelas was an amazingly dramatic encounter in which Ruelas had Gatti in some trouble, but Arturo came back to rescue himself with a left hook and knock him out. And then the fight that I regard as the most dramatic of all took place on March 23, 1996 against Wilson Rodriguez, and we're going to have a taped look back at that in just a moment. But right now, let's turn to Max Kellerman and Bernard Hopkins. And Max, I'll start with Bernard because I always love to ask really skilled technical boxers, did you in any way appreciate watching the all-time blood and guts warrior Arturo Gatti, or was it painful to watch a guy fight like that?
A little bit of both, because Arturo Gatti is one of those, heart and gut guys. He came forward like an old school 50 and late 60 type fighter. But one thing about Arturo Gatti, he came to fight. Whether he won or lost, he was in the fight, by his presence. I mean, he was cut. He fought back from being either hurt around before, but he was one of those type of fighters that didn't give up and always fought to the end, whether he won, lost, or got knocked out.
Bernard, coming out of the amateurs, he had boxing skills, but then at some point in his professional career, he heard the roar of the crowd. Could he have been competitively better than he was if he had stuck with his original style?
No, I don't think so. I think that became him. He's seen success in it early in his career, and of course, he wasn't going to abandon it. Arturo Gatti likes to fight. At that time of his career, he wanted to be engaged in a really tough fight. And you know what? Even fights that he could have boxed, he made out of a war. That was just in his DNA.
He gave a gift to boxing fans, Max.
He did, and I agree with you. He heard the roar of the. He was a disciplined boxer when he started, and beat Tracy Patterson, a good fighter, on the jab to win a belt in the lighter weight division. But who cares if he would have been more competitive had he stayed boxing at the elite level? Because if you're not going to give the fans a real show with your boxing, if you're not one of the best they've seen, why are they watching you? Certainly they won't be watching you on HBO. But when you are an action fighter the way Gatti was, when he realized that he could take the punch, that he had a cinematic way of staggering that made you think, that's it. A guy can get hit and hurt, and you don't think the fight's about to be over. The way Gatti staggered from shots made you think, this fight's about to be over, and then come back with one-punch power in these fights at certain weight classes and win. He gave us something special that we'll always remember. That's why he got big fights, even when he wasn't a pound-for-pound kind of fighter.
Before we look back at Gatti against Wilson Rodriguez, March 23, 1996, what are your memories of that night?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, I agree with you. I think it might be his most dramatic fight. It's either that or Ruelas, although Ward, the first one, was amazing too. But the suddenness with which things happened in Gatti and Rodriguez, the shifts in momentum were an eye blink and were just, you thought to yourself, this is not really happening. This is a movie.
One thing to keep in mind as you watch the flashback that we're about to show you. You've seen this idea in movies where a fighter is blind and the doctor is talking to him and somebody in his corner somehow cues him what it is he's supposed to say to the doctor. Here's a case where it really happened, because as the ring doctor tries to determine whether Arturo Gatti can still see out of his badly damaged eyes, his cut man, Joe Souza, is hitting Gatti on the leg with his hand to let Gatti know how many fingers the doctor is showing him. Otherwise, he would not have been able to complete the enterprise. So let's look back now at Arturo Gatti's most dramatic fight of all, March 23, 1996, Boxing After Dark against Wilson Rodriguez in New York.
Gatti getting a little boxing lesson here in round 1. Tough round for the young phenom.
And Gatti goes back to his corner, blinking with that closing left eye.
Gatti goes down on a short left hook inside. And reserve.
Let go. Step back. Step back. You ain't got no time. You got to get out there and do it, all right?
Hard right hand over the top by Gatti as he comes out swinging for the knockout.
This is the stuff champions are made of.
Sensational left hook by Gatti. Fabulous counter right by Rodriguez.
Cover your left eye or it's over. How many fake? Gatti said cover. How many fingers? Now.
Yep, he's wobbling now.
Yes, he's seriously hurt.
Rodriguez is about to put him out of there with accumulated punishment. Gatti fighting back with the left hook. He landed another one. And Gatti finishes the round by pulling it out from nowhere.
This is World War III, folks.